So, we've been having this conversation about how men weaponize food. Now, some of the conversation, or most of the conversation, has been around how they just consume just copious amounts of food to the point where other people don't have enough food. But when I was talking about it yesterday, I also talked about diet culture and how we're expected to stay all slender and petite, and how that's also a control tactic. Now, when I was talking about it, I was talking about in ways that it just keeps it on our brain that we have to stay small, or it keeps us working out, it keeps us worrying, and that's a form of control. Or the way these men will order a salad for a woman versus letting her eat some chicken wings, and that's what she really wants. Or shame a woman that will eat the chicken wings and not order the salad on her own, like that. They shame that. So, as I was having this conversation, it brought up some commentary, and the comments on my post from yesterday over on YouTube have been amazing. I love this comment from Laszlo Man. I needed to pull it out. She says, diet culture also has the effect of keeping women physically weak through expectations of beauty. Muscle mass is seen as unattractive, so information about how to build strength in the female body is mostly geared towards aesthetics or toning, an hourglass figure that accentuates curves rather than real practical physical prowess. Nutrition directly impacts brain function, which is why you see women on extreme diets struggle with brain fog and lethargy and difficulty making decisions, judgment, etc. When women have been shown in studies to be the better decision makers on average. Our bodies, I'm non binary but was raised as a woman, evolved to store fat so that we can survive in emergency situations. Diet culture may have been rooted in aesthetics, but it's become a weapon to justify preventing women from reaching their full physical potential, in my opinion. It also makes women who try to reach these beauty standards as a whole more vulnerable physically to violence at the hands of oppressors. I think that this definitely needs to be brought up more often. So while this is kind of tangential, it all kind of goes together. That's the reason why you see these men always talking about women have to be below 5'7" and they have to be a certain size and that kind of thing. It's all a control tactic because they feel, I really do think that they are powerless out there in the real world. That's the reason why they want to dominate someone smaller than them and at the same time have access to your, once again, time, energy, and resources. So I've had some great comments on this post, and today, this video is going to be just talking about some other women's stories. I thought that this was another great comment to pull out. So yesterday when I was having that discussion, I was talking about a Reddit post that started the discussion of weaponizing food. And to that, Jezebel says, I followed that discussion on Reddit and I would like to repeat what I said there. There is a very good reason that large and small international charities specifically target women in endangered communities because they know that when they help a woman, they help her family and the community in general because women tend to give what their children or themselves do not need to their neighbors. But helping a man means only helping one person because men usually only take for themselves. At the same time, threatening famine globally is measured by the health of adult women because they know that women will give their meager portions to their children first. Men, on the other hand, take care of themselves. This has nothing to do with religion, ethnicity, culture, or whatever. This is the mentality of men all over the world. So much for being a natural protector and provider. It's the women in every community and culture that thinks of not only her own children, but the neighbor's children too. And this is the reason why, all of us are talking about smash the patriarchy or whatnot. Smashing the patriarchy does not mean that we want a woman led patriarchy. That's what people tend to think. Like we want to be like the person on the top because we wouldn't do that. We would take the supplies and spread them out. We're not here to gobble up and hoard resources like men do in a patriarchy. I thought that that was a great comment that needed to be pulled out. We don't want to control things. We want to make sure other people are fed as well. Now, I just want to do some of the comments on this post. Layla says, yep, sounds familiar. My dad would buy steaks and beer for himself with what abysmally small money he made, while he forced my mom to shoplift crackers and cheese for the kids. It's such a small thing, but one thing I really love about my husband is that he's so good at sharing. My brothers also picked up that trait, probably because of a subconscious disgust with our father, and very diligently proportions meals so that everyone is getting their fair share. And I think that this is one of the reasons why people cannot stand feminists, because we want equality. We want to make sure that everybody is eating and safe and healthy. Whereas the people like the pick me girls, the pick me women, they want to center the men, make sure that they get the biggest portions and that kind of thing. And so when I started thinking about this topic, I was like, we have talked about this in some kind of iteration for years, the big piece of chicken and who gets to eat first and all of that. We've been talking about this. And so I think that that's the reason why so many women are pushing towards my way of thinking. Like this feminist, people actively saying that they are feminists is because of this. I believe that it is a backlash because for so long, men have been colonizers of our time, energy, and resources. And it's not just hurting women, it's hurting the children as well, as in this comment. SCA 1273 says, this is my brother. My parents own a grocery store 7 minutes from the house. My brother didn't work for a while, and whenever I bought food or made food, he will eat my leftovers. And his reason is because he is hungry and there's no food in the house and he has no money. Not taking into account, he can just go to my parents' store and get stuff to eat and cook. He has a complicated relationship with my parents, but they'll never turn him down if he asks to get food. He is just too prideful, too lazy, too prideful to ask or too lazy to go. But he fails to understand how frustrating it is when I look forward to eating something just for it all or most to be finished. I don't think that he fails to understand. I just think that he doesn't give a good goddamn. One time, he even sent a portion of the cost to cover how much he ate. And when I told him I would rather have my food versus the money, he said, at least I gave you some money instead of just eating it. Only time he ever done that, by the way. But one, if I wanted to buy the same thing, I will have to spend more than what he gave. Or two, I have to take time to get groceries and cook myself a meal I did not plan to. I have to make space in my room to get a lockable fridge. But why should I have to do that in my home? And I help with certain bills while he doesn't. He completely ignores how it affects my time and money. And if I get upset, he claims I'm overreacting and I'm emotional, and it's not a big deal. Honestly, at this rate, when I move out, I do plan on going low or no contact. And this is probably another reason why they're having this male loneliness epidemic, which is turning into a pandemic and is going to be a mandemic because they don't know how to relate to others as human and just be supportive and normal. Because why are you eating up people's food? Like, why does that, like, I don't even understand how that computes to eat up someone else's food. Kylie says, my brother did this stuff my entire life. Also ended up having him and sister as roommates as adults. As kids, when mom would buy us snacks, I had to hide mine. He would go in my room, tear it up, and eat them. When we lived together, even if I specifically brought him his own and told him he'd still eat mine too and think it was funny. As a grown man, I even had to start buying or eating unhealthy food I wouldn't normally, like hot dogs, just so I could have something to eat. All this while he was employed. He was employed with his own. He'd keep his money and eat my food. Ah, yes, just the selfishness of it all. They will take food from their kids. TRJ says, I once sent my nephews a Halloween pinata full of candy, and my brother in law proceeded to eat all of it. My sister went out and brought more candy so they could still enjoy the pinata, but damn, I was pissed. This is because they feel entitled, and it keeps the women on their toes and having to keep spending their own money. All right, we're going to continue to have this conversation, y'all. I changed my mind. I do want to do one more comment before I get out of here. This woman named Michelle Ramsey says, over the past few days, this topic has left me enraged and I'm trying to process it. I think I'm repressing something regarding this type of abuse because I don't like to share food with anyone. And someone told me that they noticed that I don't like to eat in front of others. I will always get my food, wrap it up, and take it home to eat by myself. I didn't know I was doing it until a friend told me. Sigh. I'm thinking this type of abuse happened to me as a child and I have it buried deep. This topic has me wanting to fight everything with the damn peen right now, shaking my head. And I do understand. I've never had food be repressed or used as abuse, but this topic has had me fighting mad as well. And it's just simply the fairness of it all, or just imagining kids and women being hungry, also that one person can just gorge and gorge and gorge. That's the reason why you see these dudes with these big old bellies that look like they're pregnant or they have a basketball underneath their shirt. You know that they are gorging, especially if their counterparts are not that big as well. Anyways, we are going to continue to have this conversation because so many people have experienced this in some sort of way. So go ahead, drop your stories. Let us know what you're thinking. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. And I'm really getting out this time, y'all.